Hi everyone, it's me, Rogue Assassin. Bet you're wondering, where were you? For the past few days that I didn't record, I had to plan a party for my grandmother. And we went to that party, and now I am bone tired because the party's done right now. That was yesterday. For me, it's yesterday. For you, it might be 2 days before. But still, continuing on. This is one of my 10k subscriber specials. Yes, I was planning on this 10k subscriber special for a while now. This is What If Deku and a symbiote. But this is going to be this is going to be not a similar What If to another YouTuber. I got a lot of inspiration from another YouTuber that did the same What If. What if Deku was a perfect symbiote? I think his name is, yeah, Ravenclaw What If. Thank you for giving me the inspiration to do this What If. Now, this What If is kind of going to be inspired by his What If. What if Deku was a perfect symbiote? He's going to be a mutant, obviously. He's going to be a mutant off the bat. He's gonna be the only person with quirk. Like, that's the difference between his and mine, because in his there were people with quirks. In mine, he Deku's the only person and the last person with a quirk. I'm just saying that quirks like came before long time ago, and two people like ever since like mutant genes started coming out and people started getting special abilities, the gene started dying because I'm going rolling with the theory that the quirk gene is a virus that is trying to kill all humanity. Basically, every year the quirk gene gets stronger until it leads to the point where humans can't control their quirks anymore and they end up killing themselves. That is basically what people call in the My Hero Academia universe the quirk singularity. Basically, quirks get so strong, humans can't control them, and their bodies can't handle their own quirk. So they basically kill themselves. Now, basically, because the quirk was a virus in My Hero Academia, and I'm just gonna say that the quirk gene slowly started dying once other abilities such as the mutant gene and all those abilities in Marvel started appearing, like like symbiotes started coming out, people started and the quirk gene just died. And people forgot about the quirk gene. People forgot quirks even exist, like quirk hospitals were taken, they took down quirk hospitals. People slowly forgot quirks. And this is basically, All For One is dead in this one. All Might is long time dead in this one. They all died. Actually, All Might killed All For One. Like, let's just say he defeated him, and he died of old age. So the My Hero Academia universe is not going to be existing in this one, but the same characters are going to still remain. It's just some of their abilities are going to be different, or some of the characters aren't going to even exist in this universe. So I'm going to continue now. So Deku's going to be the only one with a quirk. No one's going to know he's even using. No one's going to even know what a quirk is, except for Shield. Yes, this is going to be my first. This is my first, and when I say my first, I mean my first Marvel-based What If. And this is going to be an interesting one, I dare say, because this is kind of similar to another YouTuber's What If, but I'm going to try not to copy it as much as I can. But I am taking bits and pieces of it, like a few bits and pieces of it. And if you're wondering what the difference is between my What If and his What If, number one, Deku's not going to have an overpowered assassin mother in the beginning. that is gonna turn into a villain at the end of, like, at closely the end of the anime. Number two, Deku is not gonna fall into I am a god and you are nothing. Number three, this is not gonna link up into any other universe. Well, maybe it is. For me, because this is my universe, I might add another universe involved with this, another My Hero Academia universe involved with this, but you never know. So Deku is not going to have any family. Deku is going to be a vigilante. The ship is going to be, if you watched Ravenclaw What If's ship, basically if you know his ship, Deku and basically Deku and the amazing, hold up, need to find her, Silk, basically. That's the ship. Basically the same old. It's nothing new here. Nothing new here. And yeah, Deku's not gonna learn like Deku's not gonna get all those strong metals off the bat like vibranium. Basically Wolverine's metals. I can't even think of the name right now, but he's not gonna get that off the bat. He's gonna he's gonna need to find them first, a raw material, and then he's gonna need to study them. But Deku's mutant gene is gonna help a lot with that. So I'm gonna explain Deku's quirk and mutant gene. He's gonna have both quirk and mutant gene, and because this is a symbiote what if, he's gonna have a symbiote. So let's begin. Let's start with Deku's quirk. It's going to be the same like Ravenclaw's what if. He's going to have a creation quirk. And it's nothing different, it's nothing, like no changes to the creation quirk. It still works the same. There's rules to the creation quirk. It's still the same rules. Uh, Nothing different there. His mutant gene is going to be a telekinesis one. That's the different part. His mutant gene is going to be telekinesis. But instead of reading people's mind, he's going to be able to tell the components of anything he touches. And his symbiote, I think I have a picture right here. There it is. His symbiote. I was looking for the same picture that Ravenclaw what if did, but had basically, but I could not find it. So I said, flip it, I'm just going to use this one. I will try to look for it again, but if I don't find it, I don't find it. So you must basically imagine in your head his final, like, his three forms. This is his spider form, obviously, his suit with the symbiote. And before Deku gets his symbiote, Deku's gonna wear this. Yes, Deku's gonna wear this. Deku's gonna wear this suit. And he's gonna be a vigilante. It's not this, yeah, in his one, Deku is a vigilante. But in this one, Deku's gonna be more of a vigilante based. He's gonna have no purpose to become a hero. And he's gonna fight crime here and there, but he's also gonna fight like heroes as well. And every hero he beats, he's gonna brand them with a tattoo. Now, Ravenclaw what if named his Izuku, I think, Black Rabbit? Or probably Black Rabbit. I do not know what he named his, like, Deku's like vigilante name, but I'm gonna name my vigilante Deku. It's named Black Spider. So basically, what Deku is gonna leave behind to like show it's Black Spider, he's basically gonna he's basically gonna leave a spider tattoo on a person's arm or hero's arm. If it's a villain, he's gonna leave basically either a black paint mark on the wall, and then he's gonna brand the villain or hero with a black spider on their wrist. And he's gonna keep on branding whoever he fights until basically, if like say now the villain has 10 black spiders on his wrist, he's gonna kill them. If the hero has 10 black spiders on his wrist, he's gonna very fatally injure them. Basically, it's like you show yourself in front of me again and you lose. 10 strikes you out. That's it. 10 strikes you out. Like, I'm not gonna tell you again. And Deku is also gonna have another side of his quirk, which is this one's gonna be different. He's gonna have a kind of graffiti quirk. Why do I want to give Deku a graffiti quirk? Because I want to give him a graffiti quirk. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be really cool because his symbiote is also gonna help with that. He's gonna have a graffiti quirk which he can manifest anything he puts to life. I mean, he can like his quirk is gonna be like overpowered because he has two sides to it. So he has his creation quirk and he has his graffiti quirk. So he's gonna be painting on the walls. Like he's like day job, like he's like to make money in the day. He's gonna be selling paintings and to like and if he's like just walking around wandering, like not making money, obviously, he's gonna be painting on the walls, basically. Graffiti. But at night, if he's doing like like vigilante work, he's gonna be basically hunting heroes and villains down. Like anyone that he can find, if he stumbles on a villain or a hero, he's gonna fight them obviously. And he's also gonna do graffiti as a vigilante because he's just gonna do it. It's like there's nothing. He's just gonna do it. There's nothing saying that he can't. And this is gonna take place. Yes. If you did not see the pictures, this oh gosh. Make like you never saw that. Well, that is no what. That is not another what if that might be Joe. That is not another what if I might be creating. That is not another what if I might be creating. Uh, pretend like you didn't see that. Let's go on. Yes, the Spider family is going to be joining us. So we have Sulk, Miles Morales, Peter Parker, Gwen, obviously. Those characters, Sulk. Uh, basically, I call him. Basically, I don't want to. I want to call him Agent Spider, but I'm gonna call him Detective Spider for now. I'm gonna call him Detective Spider, and yeah, the Spider family is gonna be joining us, and this what if is gonna be based around the Spider family because it's gonna be a symbiote. What if? Now, some of this like only Peter Parker knows this, but Peter Parker has only faced or the original Spider-Man, Peter Parker, that's who I'm talking about. He's the only he's the only like Spider-Man in the Spider family that has fought a symbiote before. And he knows the symbiote's weakness, and the symbiote he has fought is both Venom and Carnage. Now, Spider-Man, like, or Peter Parker, to be more specifically, has never fought the symbiote named Anti-Venom. And Anti-Venom basically had a spawn. And that spawn is obviously going to be, basically, I still need to think of his name, but I'm going to call his symbiote Void. Yeah, I'm going to call his symbiote Void. As that's what his symbiote's going to be called, Void. Deku is gonna have like two sides of. He's gonna have his quirk that has two sides, and he can use them in tangible. Like he can use them like both together. So if he wants to like make a knife that has paint all over it, then he can. If he wants to. But that's like only for him to decide. So let's begin the what if. So how is Deku? So Deku's basically parents is still gonna be Hasashi Midoriya and Inko. Um, Deku's going to be an orphan in this one, and there's going to be a big time skip between Deku and the story that will be taking place. So I'm going to begin. Deku's mother quirk, first of all, Deku's mother has a dormant quirk, so she thinks she is powerless. She has no abilities. She thinks she's a normal human, but she has a dormant quirk that is a slash graffiti creation quirk. She can make paintbrushes, paint equipment. She can make paintbrushes, paint equipment, and just all those like basic like paint stuff you use to paint, spray cans, paint itself. But that quirk is dormant right now, as Sashi has a mutant gene. Sashi's mutant gene is going to be telekinesis. It's just a weak telekinesis. Like it's just a how can I say? It's a strong telekinesis, yes, strong enough that Magneto wants him on his side, and that's how they're gonna die. So while Hasashi and Inko were basically, how can I say, this is gonna take place somewhere. Gosh, I don't know where the Spider Family like usually patrol. New York. Ah, gosh, I didn't watch Spider-Man in a while. It's probably New York or Manhattan, where the Daily Bugle is. Basically, that's where they patrol. As basically that city, with outside that city, Sasha Midoriya and Inko with their baby boy Izuku Midoriya, which is basically how can I say 5 years old. 5 years old now, is like basically driving through the streets until they get hit with a basically they get basically stopped. Their car stops and suddenly starts floating as basically Masashi tells Inko to grab like Izuku and run as basically Magneto Magneto like no, I'm not gonna say Magneto. I'm just gonna say a bunch of Magnetos, how can I say it, mutant lackeys basically went hunting for Sashi because Sashi has information that Magneto like must stay hush. As basically this massive mutant guy, he can increase his size. He picks up the car and Sashi jumps out with Inko like falling out and running just for the hills. As Sashi is trying to hold off the mutants as basically one of the mutants get the jump on him and kills him with their mutant abilities. I'm gonna say I'm just gonna say that it's a teleportation mutant ability. So you can teleport as he like teleports behind Hasashi as he basically stabs him. He basically like stabs him like he basically cuts his throat basically. As Hasashi drops dead as just because Hasashi has telekinesis as an ability doesn't mean he can like see everything. It doesn't mean he can control everything around him. If he doesn't know what he's like, say now someone just instantly disappears. If he's not focused, it's not gonna. His mutant gene isn't gonna have much of effect. So I would think a person sneaking up behind Hasashi and slitting his throat is possible before he can do any major damage. As Sasashi's dead, as Inko's still running, as she runs in the woods, as she's still running, as these mutant lackeys of Magneto is following her, as she kind of like basically she tumbles, as basically now she is holding like 5-year-old Izuku, basically as this big mutant guy, the one that can grow in size and muscle, starts walking up to her, like slowly marching, with the other two behind her. As this is where it's gonna take a turn. As a portal opens up, and all you like see is basically something walking out. This something is kind of looks like a robot. It looks like a robot. Well, instead of walking out, it basically just runs out, like it was trying to avoid something. As it looks around, as it sees Inko, as basically it sees this giant over her, and this giant was about to finish her by just punching her, like basically very hard to kill her, or squashing her to be more specifically. As this giant beast looks at this like small skinny robot, and this robot has kind of like a cape, but its one arm is open. As it jumps, like basically the portal guy disappears, like, and it's looking around for where did the other one go, but it's more like paying attention more to the big one. As it jumps in the air, as he avoided the portal guy, as basically now his one arm starts cackling with lightning, as basically you hear this like cackle in his arm as he throws his hands up, as the lightning goes in the sky, disperses, as basically everyone waits for a second, as nothing happens, as the like one of the like mutants just start laughing. And I'm gonna say this mutant can, let's just say this isn't a mutant, this is just a normal human. No, I'm just gonna say there's two mutants because I cannot think of what mutant ability to give that last guy. So basically both of these two mutants start laughing like ha ha ha, like is that supposed to do something? As this robot's hand, one hand is still up in the air, as he pulls it down, as a massive lightning bolt strikes both of them, boom, and basically knocks back the teleportation one like further back, and the big guy just goes stumbling, as he's like, you son of a, as he turns back, as he's suddenly getting blasted with ice. Basically he's getting hit with ice attacks, as basically this robot pulls out a gun, as he starts unloading this gun basically in this mutant. Well, it's not hurting him per se, until he swaps the ammo to piercing rounds, and then it starts like piercing this mutant dude, as this guy's getting very injured through bullet wounds, as he's also getting like frostbite, as the the robot's one arm starts burning, starts igniting in flame, as he shoots a fireball at this guy, as it explodes on impact, boom, sending the guy flying. As the guy is on the tree, basically his mutant gene, like his mutant like thing, just like slowly deactivates. As this guy's very hurt, as there's a, like, I'm gonna say there's a drawback, like if he increases his muscle, his size and strength, he gets basically, how can I say it? Basically, he gets like, he's in pain once he stops using it. And the skin, like, and because he's like even in more pain now because he just got a few bullets unloaded into him, and it's piercing his arm now, he's basically in pain, as this guy stops using his mutant gene, as he's like lying like in trees, broken trees, as this robot guy floats over to him and shoots him in the head, bam. As this robot guy turns to the other teleportation one, the teleportation one finally like is like gone. Just say he's gone, he teleported, as he comes up behind the robot guy with a knife as he tries to stab it. As when he tries to stab the robot, basically it snaps. The blade basically breaks because it's a suit that this thing's wearing. As basically the, I'm not gonna say it's a snaps on impact of the suit. Just say it just snaps in mid-air for some reason, like it hits some type of wall. As the guy is questioning, like, what are you? As he tries punching at the robot, as he hits a barrier. There's a shield around this thing, as this robot is just hovering above. As he points the gun at this like portal, as he starts unloading, as the portal mutant just like teleports away as he's trying to escape, but the the robot the robot does the same thing he did again to basically, how can I say it, disorientate them with the lightning attack. As he throws lightning, his one hand cackles with lightning as he throws it in the sky, as it dissipates, as he brings his hand down and points at the portal dude, as like a lightning strike strikes the portal dude before the like he could even like teleport away, as basically it kills him instantly because that was a powerful attack. as as like basically there are more mutants coming. Basically it wasn't just them because they got there early, so they were the stopping, and then Inko just ran. So there's more mutants coming, you can hear them, as basically Inko's looking around, as she can hear like more mutants coming, as she like stands up, as she grabs Izuku and gives it to the robot guy, as she's like, please take him. As like the robot guy is like confused, like why must I, as he like finally detects like a life coming towards him, as he looks behind him, as she's like, please take him. As the robot guy agrees, but he just agrees and he starts flying away, as as Midoriya is, how can I say it, he's crying for his mother, as Inko is basically gives a small smile while crying, as she says her goodbyes and tells Izuku that she loves him, obviously. As basically basically the robot guy finally flies away, as he flies pretty far, as they finally captured the mother and executed her, sadly. So Izuku is now alone. So, and this took place in a forest, by the way, close to the Daily Bugle, the city where the Spider-Man crew is. As the mutants, like, as they done their mission, but lost two mutants in the process, as Izuku, like, as the robot guy finally gets to a secure location, as he finally speaks. What's your name, boy? As Izuku looks at the man crying, he's like, my name is Izuku. As he's like, as the guy laughs a bit, like, as he says, you remind me of me when I was younger. As he's like, just to make him happy. As basically the robot guy tells him a story that that he lost his parents just like Izuku did. That he had no parents, but to honor their name, he got stronger by training. As he asked Izuku a question: do you want to honor your parents' name by getting stronger? As Izuku's like, as Izuku says yes. Do you want to? As the robot guy asked again, do you want to honor your parents' name by defeating and punishing, by protecting the innocent and defeating the people that tries to harm them? Yes. Do you want to prevent more children for more children losing their parents because of villains like them? And he's using villains, by the way, so this is just giving you an idea. He says villains. As Izuku says yes, then I will train you. As the robot guy says, I will train you. As he's like, but first we need to find a place to stay. As the robot guy basically takes Izuku out somewhere inland, basically somewhere in the forest, inlands, where you can get a job, money, food, and basically train Izuku. And Izuku, I'm gonna do a time skip here. Izuku has been training with this person because he was 5. He's gonna be 15 when he goes back into no. He's gonna be 14 when he goes back into the basically where the Spider-Man like Spider Family is, that Manhattan section. He's basically going to be 14, so he's been training for 9 years with this person, this random person, as this person has been teaching him fighting styles, how to assassinate your target. Always observe your target. He's been teaching observe your target. Try to tell what abilities he's using. Try to figure out what type of things he can use. As he calls the ability that Izuku he calls the ability like the first like he asked Izuku a few questions, the robot person. He stepped out of the suit basically when you asked him this, as Izuku didn't see his face but saw what the person looked like. He wore a greyish coat, a very long greyish coat, a mask over his face, like a mask covering his nose and mouth. All you could see was his green eyes, and you couldn't even see his hair. All you could see was his green eyes. As he wore gloves, basically he made sure if he stepped out of his suit, no one would know what he looked like, not even his hair color. As he had green eyes, as he asked, "So, may I ask, what is your quirk? Does this world even have quirks?" To be more precise, as Izuku asked, "What's a quirk?" As basically this man that stepped out of the suit basically is like, interesting. This world doesn't have quirks, unlike my world. I mean, my world wasn't even natural either. We had heroes and villains. I wonder how different this world is to mine. As he also says, and I wonder how strong you will get. As he mumbles something else out, I wonder how strong you will get. And he starts mumbling. As basically Izuku is like, "Sir, you didn't answer me. What's a quirk?" As basically the man snaps out of it and he's like, "Oh, a quirk? Well, a quirk is, you can say it's like a superpower that you get." As Izuku is confused, like, isn't like superpowers that you can get mutant genes, or like all he knows is the mutant gene and some other abilities from Marvel, like X-Men, yeah, basically that. Like, he doesn't, he all he knows is the mutant gene because of his father had the mutant gene, so that's like superpowers. And he's like, "Oh, do you mean they're like the mutant gene?" Has this man asks, tell me more about this mutant gene. As Izuku is a very smart child, so he could explain the mutant gene. As Izuku's like, interesting, interesting. It's way different than quirks. Quirks, you have to train a quirk, and a mutant gene, you don't need to train it at all. You basically have, with a mutant gene, with a quirk, you can train it to, basically all quirks have a limitation, all quirks have a drawback, but a mutant gene or superpower has no limitations and it has no drawbacks. Anything you can think of could work. Anything you can think of, you could like do with a mutant gene or ability that you have. It could work, but anything that you know that you can't do with a mutagen, it won't work. With a quirk, it's more, if you want to do something this way, you must train it. But that's what I think that the difference between a quirk and a mutagen is. Also a quirk, I think also the difference between a quirk and a mutagen, quirk is a virus as well, and it gets stronger every generation. And Izuku is a very, like, has a very powerful quirk. Even though it's not that powerful, it is quite powerful. He has basically a Totoro, he's basically has two quirks, which is creation and graffiti, which is quite interesting. Now, Deku only starts, like, basically I'm gonna continue the story now. The man tells him what quirks are. As Deku asks, do I have a quirk? As the man says again, I don't know, do you want to find out? As he asks that and smiles. As Izuku says, yes, yes, as he basically is kind of excited, he's wondering if he has a quirk, or does he have a mutagen? As Izuku uses the robot to run a diagnostic on, or the man to be more specifically. I keep on swapping the two's names. The man runs a diagnostic on Izuku to find if he has a quirk or not. As the suit says that he does have that thing in his pinky toe, which I do not have, that missing bone or that double joint bone in his pinky toe, indicating that yes, he has a quirk. As like Izuku's like interesting. If quirks don't exist in this universe, why does he have one? Because he's like, or is it quirks were wiped out because of this unknown, like because of these unknown abilities named the mutagen, which basically slowly started lessening the population of quirks. So if the mutagen is the reason why quirks don't exist, then Izuku, which basically this man comes to the conclusion that Izuku is the last quirk user. As he's like, then basically he also runs a diagnostic if the quirk is a virus on Izuku, which is not. It's like the quirk has evolved from being a virus to something that will only grow in power if you train it. Basically, the mutant gene took the quirk singularity from Izuku out of the equation. So Izuku won't die of his own power. As he's like, as the man's like, interesting. It seems like this mutant gene has found a way to cure the quirk singularity. He's like, well, I better, Izuku's like, I better take a blood sample of the kid before I go home, but I am gonna spend a long time here, so might as well train him as well. As he's like, as the man like bends down and says, okay, Izuku, I'm going to train you, but we are gonna live here and train. Everything I teach you, you must learn, you must fight. You can do whatever you want with. Everything I teach you, you can do whatever you want with it. But just remember, everything you do has a consequence. So, if you go around killing, there is a consequence to killing. If you go around helping, there's a consequence. There's obstacles that you must face to do certain things. As basically Izuku, or the man starts Izuku's training. Basically while telling him that every choice he makes will will either lead to his death or will lead to something that will basically, how can I say it, something that will either benefit him or lead to his death. Basically that's what the man told him. So the man, basically Izuku's, now this man's gonna train Izuku. as this man has trained him in many ways: martial arts, fighting styles, many fighting styles. As he also gave Izuku two weapons, and this is of the 5 years he's been. He gave Izuku two weapons, and Izuku's now 10 years old. He gave him two assassin blades that he made himself. So these assassin blades are, they're not too fancy. They're just assassin blades. It's not too fancy. Nothing to them. They're meant for basically. Izuku has killed before, and Izuku has fought villains. But Izuku won't kill someone if it's unnecessary. So he won't kill someone for fun. As Izuku, the first kill Izuku had was when Izuku was 8. And Izuku has, from 8 till 10, been killing people. Has killed people. And he has also, like, basically fought villains and heroes. As this man decides to teach Izuku, like, decides to try to unlock his mutant gene or his quirk, because he basically found out a way to see if someone has a mutant gene. As he has both mutant and quirk, but they're both dormant still. So basically now the man is gonna forcefully awaken both of them while Izuku's sleeping. As basically the man comes up to Izuku's bed and is like, ah, sleep well, boy. This is gonna be a rough night for me. As he starts stretching. As the next morning Izuku wakes up, he feels very weak and he's like, as the man is next to Izuku's bed, he's like, whoa, kid. Like, basically, he's like, slowly, kid, get up slowly. I mean, you were out for more than 5 days while I did the operation. As Izuku is like, what operation? As he basically says, I forcefully awakened your quirk gene, and I forcefully awakened your, basically, your mutant ability. As basically, Deku's like, what? As he looks down at his hands, as he tries to feel if he has any like power, as he's like, I don't feel anything. As Deku's like, that's the point. That's not how power basically works. As basically Izuku gives him a metal nail. As basically Izuku like once Izuku touches it, he knows what the like he knows that this is metal. As he's like, as basically the old man like takes it from Izuku's hands again, as he's like, try to make a nail. As he's like, what? Izuku's like, what? As he's like, I said try to make a metal nail. As Izuku's like, from what? Just try. As basically Izuku is gonna use his quirk gene now, as he tries to make a like nail. As Izuku's like, that's not how what I mean by that. He's like try thinking of your quirk. As he's like, as Izuku's like, think of my quirk. As he thinks of his quirk that he thinks he has, as he makes a nail. As he makes 10 nails in his hand. Like, and he was just staring off in the distance, thinking, quirk, make, nail. That's it. And then 10 nails appeared in his hand. As basically Izuku's like, so you have a creation quirk. I was right on that last one. But Izuku doesn't know what his second quirk is. As basically Izuku has been like silent. He's just silent shock that he has like an ability like that he can make things just come out of nowhere. As Izuku, basically the old man says that's not how quirk works. He basically like says he really like he basically knew Izuku's like, oh, I made this stuff come out of nowhere. As he's like, that's not how it works. As he tells the Izuku that he reminds Izuku that every quirk has a weakness, and Izuku has a creation quirk, so his weakness is that he needs the energy, enough energy to create what he wants to make. So, as he says, also your the thing also the thing that is limiting you to make, like, how can I say it, a gun, say now a gun, is you need to know how to make it and what it's made out of. You also need to know how what the bullets are made out of as well. As Izuku like listens to this intent, like his explanation of a quirk has a limitation that you need to overcome, has a limit, and it can train, that limit can be extended by training, and also has a backlash. As he understands this, as he basically thinks, like he's basically now wondering what's his limit, so he starts making a whole lot of nails. As while he's making nails, some of the nails come out in different colors: green, orange, pink, white, blue, as they're basically painted over. As basically the man picks up one of the green nails as he's like, so you have some type of painting quirk. It's your second quirk. I wonder what this painting quirk can do. As basically the man tells him to stop making nails. As he's like, well, seems like you have two quirks. And he's like, as he basically Izuku's like, what, is that possible? As the old man's like, yes, it's possible. You have two, like you can have two quirks. It's not rare to have two quirks. I found as Izuku's like, cool, what's my second quirk? It's some type of painting quirk. As he puts the green like screw on the table, as basically Izuku looks at the rest of the screws, like basically the screws that he made. They are, some of them have different colors, like red, there are some reds, there are some greens, but a lot of them are silver. As when Izuku like picked up one of the red ones, it just turned to red, like ink. As the like the screws that had colors started turning to ink, color ink. As Izuku's like, so that's the second quirk. Anything that he can make, anything that he can draw or make, he can either bring it to reality, or he can just make, I can say, he can make illusions with his basically graffiti quirk as well. As Izuku thinks, so this is some sort of graffiti quirk. Or this is the old man's thinking. So this is some sort of graffiti quirk. I've seen two people do graffiti quirks, and both of them are powerful. As basically, like while the basically Izuku's now freaked out that the nails, like basically the nails that are rainbow, like basically different colors are turning to ink, and he's like, whoa, 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 what's happening, what's happening? As he's getting a bit freaked out, as stuff starts floating in the room, and as Izuku, like, as the old man, like, is looking around, while Izuku is getting freaked out, as the old man thinks, so this must be his mutant gene. Telekinesis, I guess. But a very powerful one. As everything in the room is floating. As basically the old man like basically has like a stick next to him. As he bangs the stick on the floor and he's like, stop! As Izuku turns his attention to the old man, he's like, basically gets a fright. As everything like just instantly falls to the ground. But as basically the old man says that your mutagen is telekinesis. As basically the old man smiling under his mask as he's thinking this might be a powerful person if he uses his quirks and his mutant gene right. As for the rest of the 4 years, they train on quirk control and mutagen. Like they train in, he trains the mutagen and the quirk gene that Izuku Midoriya has until basically it's time for him to leave. As he gets into his suit, basically his robot, as he's like, my time is up here now. I'm the portal that I have to leave through is somewhere in Manhattan, so that would be where I'd have to drop you off, and you would have to live your life and survive. As basically the old man like takes basically Izuku all the way to Manhattan as he takes him like on top of a building as the old man says like says to Izuku to stay safe and survive, don't die, no matter what, don't die. As the old man basically like the portal opens up, he looks at the portal and he says, it's my time to go. I'll see you when I see you again. And don't die. I mean, as the man says, I mean, I didn't train you. I didn't train you all of these skills for nothing. And continue training your quirks and your mutagen. Don't slack off. As he basically says it in an angry tone, like a funny angry tone. As basically Izuku replies, either yes sir. As basically the man smiles and says goodbye. Until we see you again, until we meet again, Izuku. As he like he's walking to the portal, as he turns back and he says, and may I suggest you something? May I tell you something? Remember what I said before I start your training. Before I started your training, every action has a consequence. They could either lead to your glory or your death. So, be careful with who you make enemies with. As he walks through the portal, as the portal closes, as that was just the last words between sensei and student, as Izuku is now alone on a building in Manhattan. As Izuku looks like this, basically, as he has basically the like wherever the lights are, he just looks like this. As he also has like a rifle and a sniper with him. As he's wearing a mask, and he's like, well, guess that's the last time I'm gonna see my sensei. Time to get to work. As basically he basically like puts his like fist back together. As he puts his like fist like his hands together as he stretches. He's like time to get to work. As it's basically dark. As Deku gets down to the bottom of the building. As he walks through an alley. As he sees a bunch of I can say villains. They're busy acting stupid. Basically, they're basically acting stupid as a lady walks through the alleyway with. Like, a lady did walk through the alleyway as these villains are basically now trying to steal from this lady. As Izuku like does have rubber bullets, he does taser bullets. He's created all these like different types of weaponry to use. As he equips taser bullets, as he shoots one of the the villains, as they start shaking, he's like he drops to the floor because he's just been tasered. As Izuku is there with a pistol in his hand, as he shot one of the villains, and he's like, who are you? And he's like, I'm just a person that's gonna kick your ass. As he shoots all the villains, as basically he tells the lady to go, as he looks down at the villains, as he could hear the cops already coming, as he looks down at the villains, as he says, Well, the cops are gonna question who done this, so I better give myself a name before the public gives myself a stupid name. As he names himself the Black Spider. As he leaves a spider on each of the villains' wrists, as he basically, at the same time while he did that, he painted a quick black spider on the wall. As he walks away, as the cops arrive, he walks around the corner, he disappears like the assassin he is. And he is what level of assassin, like, level of assassin he is? He is basically the, he's basically if assassin, assassination classroom came to Assassin's Creed, and basically it's basically he's a high level assassin. He's a high level Assassin's Creed. He's basically assassin level, assassin classroom level plus Assassin's Creed. That's what level he's on now. As he knows a lot of fighting styles, he knows how to fight with weapons, he knows how to make a lot of things. As he's pretty proficient, as he's not proficient in quirks yet, but he's pretty proficient. As his hobby is drawing, so he just draws. As I'm just gonna say, Izuku has been like he's been jumping like once he's sensei elected, he's been jumping, stopping crying. As Izuku doesn't like want to be a hero because none of the heroes saved his mother, but a person that came from another universe, you could say. As Izuku has no inspiration on being a hero, he doesn't want to be a hero. Like he sees heroes like here and there. He sees Iron Man, like he sees Iron Man, Captain America, Hawkeye, but he doesn't want to be heroes. Like Shield, he sees the like these types of heroes, but he doesn't want to be a hero. He'd rather be a vigilante than a hero. Like he likes to fight. He likes to fight people, challenge people. As Deku runs into a hero. And I'm gonna say heroes are more like how can I say it? There are a lot more heroes around the world now. As he runs into a low grade hero, a low ranking hero, as basically he stopped a few villains. As this hero is like, hey, you stop. As you, I'm gonna say that there is a license for heroes that Shield offers, and there are high schools that you can go for hero work if you have the abilities to. So basically, like the mutant school. There is a hero school where mutants and other people can go study hero and get their hero license. Basically like My Hero Academia, but instead of quirks, it's just like combat, like combat weaponry. If you can make things, basically like that. And Shield, if you're a strong and well-known hero and also powerful, Shield will just offer you a basically a hero badge. Just offer you a hero permission. You can use your abilities in public. So there are a lot more like heroes out in the streets now. As this random low rank hero basically like found Izuku and he's telling Izuku to stop. Hey, wait! As basically Izuku turns around, like while this guy is like chasing him. As he turns around now, this guy is now like in front of Izuku because Izuku suddenly stopped and turned as he knees the guy in the gut. As he makes like a, you can say like a bat. As he basically gives the guy one to the face with a bat. And this is a wooden bat. As the wooden bat breaks, as he makes another one, just starts beating the guy up. As basically the guy's like, why did you do that? As Izuku's like, I just did it because I want to. No reason to. As Izuku just did this because of he wants to. He doesn't actually want to be a hero, and he doesn't care of being heroes. He doesn't care if he beats like fights heroes or villains. He just wants to fight people to keep him entertained. As basically, like he's been like Izuku. Izuku beats the guy with a bat multiple times as the guy is now on the floor lying very bruised as he puts a tattoo marker, a permanent tattoo marker of a black spider as on the black spider it says 1 as if that gets to 10 then he has to basically put the hero out of commission, like either break the hero's legs, break the hero's arm. He has to break something of the hero. If it gets to 5 then he just has to injure the hero but it must still be healed. If it gets to 10, fatal wound. That means it can't be healed and he can't be a hero no more. So if Zuku beats that guy 10 times, yeah, he won't be a hero no more. He won't be able to walk at the end of it. As Izuku walks away, as the guy, he was still bruised, as people the cops find him, as they see the tattoo markings, the tattoo and the paint, basically the dry black spider paint on the wall, as basically he did this. He defeated a few lower rank heroes, and he also stopped a few villains. As people are calling him a vigilante, as they're calling him the Black Spider. But he's not that big around Manhattan. He's only certain area districts. As Izuku is basically not that big, but he's big enough for a symbiote, basically a symbiote to basically catch wind of him, and this is a villain. As Carnage, basically the host of Carnage, I don't know who's the host of Carnage's name. Please leave down the name of Carnage's host down below in comments because I need his name or else I'm gonna go search on Google for a while. So, continuing on, Carnage catches wind of the Black Spider as he's like, oh, how interesting. Hey, Carnage, come we make a friend. As Carnage is now on the hunt for the Black Spider, as basically it's not long to find him as it's day now, as I'm going to explain Izuku's day, what Izuku does in the day. Izuku has gotten a hotel. He lives in a hotel, basically. Yeah, he lives in a hotel. Basically, he's a permanent, he lives permanently there. He has nobody else to live. As Izuku's job, he sells paintings, as he makes paintings, sells them, and he gets a lot of money, but he really doesn't need it. He also sells metals, weapons, metals, irons, anything that he can make with these two quirks. As he basically makes a lot of money, enough to get him a hotel, and still have enough over to get food. As he basically does nothing in the day. He's he has a lot of money that he can basically go around in the day just painting on the walls. As every painting he leaves a black spider. As this black spider basically represents the vigilante, obviously black spider, as he paints in the day, everywhere in the day, as basically people are seeing this on certain buildings, top of certain buildings, on brick wall, on abandoned building sites, on the floor basically. He paints everywhere. It's actually good pictures until you realize that the vigilante black spider made them. So people think that the vigilante black spider is basically like putting graffiti down just because he wants to. So black spider, how can I explain Black Spider? Yeah, Black Spider has a follow group, a small follow group, people following him. Basically on his the paint things, the stuff that he paints.
if he like does graffiti, like if somebody finds him, they take a picture and put it on the Black Spider website. There's a website of him now, as if he fights a villain and he has a marker, basically and he's like this these villains or a hero is on the news, they have been like basically beat up by Black Spider. Basically, it also goes to the Black Spider website. So every every hero he beats, every villain he beats, or like all goes to the Black Spider website. And also the art that he sells, Izuku, that like the art that Izuku sells, he also sells it in like he doesn't sell it like upfront. He always wears a mask, as he sells like art. As this art also has the signature Black Spider with this like the painting of a like Black Spider on the corner, small painting. Basically there was like basically a spot where you can just find like just find the vigilantes like Black Spider, whether it be art, his fights, the villains he defeated or the heroes he defeated. As as Carnage is hunting for Black Spider, as he finally caught Cactus Black Spider in a alleyway. As at the same time, Carnage was hunting for Black Spider, the basically Peter Parker was on the tail of Peter Parker, and Venom was on the tail of Carnage as well, because they are also looking for him. As basically when when Carnage found Black Spider, Black Spider had to book it because he doesn't know what the thing is that he's being chased by. As he's running, as Izuku's like, Flip, what is this thing? As Izuku's basically like dodging the tendrils that Carnage is shooting. As he runs into a abandoned warehouse, as he hides behind basically a storage section, as basically Carnage like, come out Black Spider, we just wanna play, as basically Carnage is looking for Black Spider until you hear something crash through the window, as it's Peter Parker, as basically Peter Parker is like, we found you Venom, we found you Carnage, there's nowhere where you can go, as he's like, oh really? Oh really? And you think you're gonna stop me and my fun, as you think you're gonna stop we and our fun? As Spider-Man's like, yeah, I'm not just gonna stop you. I didn't come alone. As Venom bursts through the door, as basically Venom screams, Carnage! I found you! As basically Carnage is like as Carnage as on actually in a weakened state. He didn't think that Black Spider would be like that strong, so he just wanted to play with something. As Carnage is in a weak state, hold up, I'm moving. There's gonna be noise now soon. Okay. Back to peace and quiet. Continuing. Venom is on the birth of. Venom is on the point of giving a spawn. So Venom's only gonna give him one spawn. So while Izuku is basically watching this fight between Venom and Carnage and Spider-Man, Carnage basically lets out a loud scream as he finally gives a spawn. As basically now Carnage is at full strength, as he's rampaging between Venom and Spider-Man, as the symbiote that just came from off of Carnage. No one saw it because it's black. No one saw it. It like creeped into the shadows in the storage like section, near the storage section, as it's looking for a host, as it can sense a perfect host. It can sense a nearby perfect host, as it goes to Izuku. As Izuku has his hand near a box, as it jumps on him, as Izuku's like, what the? As he tries to rip this black thing off, as he's like, get off, what is this? As he slowly gets covered by it, as it says, don't fight, I don't want to hurt you. As basically, it's kind of a female voice, distorted female voice.
There is no place to do this what if video because people keep on disturbing me. Continuing. As basically it's a female distorted voice as who says we don't want to hurt you, but please, we need to survive. We need a host. As Izuku's like, what do you mean you need a host? What do you want with me? As he's like, as he basically says this, as Void basically says, we don't want you to, we don't want to die. But it seems like you are in a pickle too. If you help me, I can help you get stronger. As basically Izuku's like, what do you mean by get stronger? As he's like, as Void tells Izuku, we can give you power. And at the same time, there's a fight happening on the background, as basically basically the storage unit was knocked out where Izuku's hiding, as basically Void says you better accept or do you want to get killed by that thing, as basically Izuku looks at Carnage's eyes, as basically Carnage screams, "Found you!" As basically Spider-Man as Venom also sees this person that was hiding behind the storage unit, as Carnage rushes to Black Spider, as basically Izuku has to make a choice here, either not accept or and die, or accept and get more power. As he accepts, as he's like, fine, do whatever you want. As basically Void says, now dodge, as he dodges Carnage, as Izuku is now running from him, as Izuku pulls out basically a gun as he starts unloading against Carnage, as basically Void says it's not gonna work that simple. Use something that can affect him. Fire, as basically Izuku's like, and what can affect this thing? Fire, as he literally says, as Void says fire, as basically Izuku makes a flamethrower. As actually no, Izuku doesn't make a flamethrower because his limitation is he can't make any chemical substance that is liquid. He can only make solid things. So Deku basically says, well, that would be a problem because I can't make anything that is liquid. As basically, basically Void is like, I can help with that. As Void hasn't basically fused. As basically Void says, you must give me a minute to connect us two together. As basically she's starting a symbiote process, so Deku must buy time. As Deku's buying time for Void, as basically she needs 2 minutes, as Spider-Man and Venom is also trying to hold off Carnage, but not working because Carnage is crazy and Carnage wants to kill the Black Spider. As Deku is dodging, as he nearly got cut by Carnage. Actually, I got another thing. Hold up. No, I'm not gonna say that Carnage is Carnage. You know what? Erase that part. Carnage did not spawn the symbiote. Carnage did not give this symbiote spawn. I'm going to say this symbiote was contained in one of the containers, and because of Carnage's rampage in the storage facility, it broke one of the capsules that held Void. As Void was the only Void was only one of Void was the only symbiote that was stored in this facility. There is another facility that's holding more basically holding more basically symbiotes, but this symbiote was directly spawned from this symbiote was captured and was came from the spawn of anti-venom, as anti-venom gave spawned this symbiote, and this symbiote still has the same properties as anti-venom, as basically
like Venom and Carnage is weak against this like this symbiote, as this symbiote is also a chemical symbiote, so it can make anything chemical like acid. This is also going to help Izuku's quirk, because then Izuku will be able to make liquid things. He can make like fuel canisters with gas in it. He can actually make any liquid things that he knows what the chemical makeup is. As basically the entire thing happens, they talk as why like basically gets out, gets on Izuku's hand, gives Izuku a choice. Izuku accepts it. Void tells him to stall this guy for 2 minutes, as he does, as they finally fuse, as basically Void says, use your quirk now, as Izuku makes a flamethrower, as basically you just see Izuku reach for his back, as black ink starts appearing around his hand, as he literally like makes an entire flamethrower, as basically like the thing that Spider-Man and Venom saw was this kid just pull out a flamethrower from mid-air. He just pulled it out of, he just pulled it out from behind him like magic. As they don't even know what's going on, as he starts unloading the fire on Carnage, and he's like, big, jeez, this noise, the noise, can you, if you can hear any background noise or people speaking, please ignore it, because people don't want to shut up right now. Continuing, as Izuku is unloading his gas canister, basically making fire, like sending Carnage in like a flame, as Carnage starts like running, as he's badly injured, as he runs out of the switch system. He's like, I'll be back, and the next time I return, it's your head. You hear me, Black? You hear me, Black Spider? As basically Deku like sits like Deku is like, Louise. Dick Deku like basically drops the flamethrower, and he's smiling. Like he's smiling as Spider-Man drops behind him, as Deku looks quickly behind him, as he sees Venom also, as basically Deku's thinking, I think it's a good time for me to leave, as basically when Spider-Man was gonna ask for the person's name, as like Deku pulls out two flash grenades, throws them on the floor, as basically it blinds Spider-Man, but it doesn't blind Venom, as Venom rushes, as he tries to grab the boy, as Izuku throws basically a grenade. This is a fire grenade, as it explodes in flames, as Venom is like, ah, that damn brat, as basically Venom can sense that there's a symbiote on Izuku, as Izuku still with his mask on is just running, and he has a hoodie on, as he's like, damn, I think I made very, very, very bad enemies. As basically Izuku says, this is gonna come back and bite me in the butt. I know it. As Izuku's rushing, like running, as we see a few other people swing by into the basically into the warehouse, as we see Silk, as we see the Agent Spot, Detective Spider, and Silk swing by, as they finally land in the warehouse, as they see Venom like basically screaming in agony, ah, it burns, as jeez, more people, as Izuku is basically running from the warehouse right now, as he's like, damn, 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 I need a fast getaway, as basically Void says, I can offer that, as basically she tells like Izuku to act like Spider-Man, as basically he does the same hand sign that Spider-Man uses for the webs, as he creates his own like basically black web, as he starts swinging, as like, oh gosh, I can make webs now. Okay, this is interesting, as he starts swinging, as basically he's basically new at this, so he's very bad at swinging right now, as Izuku's like, Yeah, I'd rather not use webs right now. I'd rather learn that later. As basically the other, like, basically Spider-Man told them to go after that one that's running, as they already saw him coming in, so they are looking for him, like, now. They are looking for him. They're scanning the area, as Izuku's, like, in a hole. Like, in, basically in an alleyway. As the first person that finds him is Miles Morales. As he found him, as he's, like, invisible, as he's like, uh, hey, hey guys, I found him in the alleyway. As he tells them his location, as they all, like, basically like surround, like, basically Deku. As basically Deku says it out loud. Damn, my master was right. Don't make enemies with the wrong people. This is gonna. I knew this was gonna come bite me in the butt one day. I didn't expect it would come so soon. As basically Deku surrounded by the Spider-Man family. As basically, like, even like while Deku, like, just by, like, out of Deku's like scent, like, the symbiote that Deku, like, got was bonding with him permanently. So she was making a permanent bond because she knows that Deku's gonna get captured in this moment, so she'd rather make a permanent bond with him. As basically, like, Venom is catching up, like as Deku's surrounded by the basically Deku's surrounded by the four spider people, or the spider family, to be more specifically. There are four of them, plus Agent Spider, or Detective Spider. As Venom is basically also there with him, as they are surrounding him, as he's like, okay, this is. I knew this was gonna come bite me in the butt one day. As basically the first thing Deku pulls out is a rifle, starts spraying everywhere around him. The Spider family scatters, as basically now Deku has to dodge from two webs, and now he's going hand to hand with Peter Parker. Basically, Peter Parker is now fighting, like Deku, as Peter Parker basically, like, waves Deku, like, closer to him, as he kicks him in his chest as he goes, like, flying like, in the street. As he rolls, he's like, ow, that hurt. As he stands up quickly, as he sees Gwen, like, basically try to, like, take him out from behind, as he basically pulls out his blades and nearly, like, basically cuts her cheek, as he has his assassin blades out, as they are basically, they can all see he has blades there, as basically he is now fight as he creates literally from mid-air. It comes, like, just out of nowhere. He turns around, he creates two guns. As he starts firing at both spider, like, basically spider families, he's just buying time right now. As Venom is rushing at him, as Venom grabs him, basically runs him through basically a wall. As basically Deku's like, that hurt. As basically Deku makes a grenade, puts it in Venom, like, Venom is roaring at Deku, like, yeah, with his tongue and his mouth basically open. As Deku makes a grenade, puts it in Venom's mouth, it's like, eat this, kicks Venom away because Deku now has super strength. As Deku slowly, like, fusing with Void, it's just a slow process. As it like explodes in like Venom's mouth, as Venom, like reforms back, as he's like, this is not good, this is not good, this is not good. As the Spider family are basically giving support, so they're basically attacking on the sides, behind, they're kicking, they're punching, obviously. Miles Morales tased Izuku, and that really hurt him. As finally, like, after a few minutes of this brutal torture, uh, Void says it's done. Now you should have your new suit. As basically Deku's new suit, basically Deku dodges as Venom's fist as he jumps over, does a backflip, and morphs into this thing. As basically Deku, like, he has green lines. This entire suit here This is what he's like. He looks like, but just a 14-year-old in the suit. As Deku lands, as he also has a basically like mouse, basically like Gwen. She has a hoodie. He also has a hoodie. As basically he has a hoodie on, but instead of the hoodie being attached to his, how can I say it? His spider suit. It's like, how can I say it? It's hanging like a coat, like a coat. As basically he has the assassin symbol on, the spider symbol on. As basically he lands like a spider. As basically Venom's like, I knew it. You have a symbiote. As Venom doesn't realize Venom doesn't realize that the symbiote that that symbiote is actually anti venom spawn. So it's really going to be hard for him to take down. As basically Izuku lands, as he lands basically like a spider, basically like how the spider family, basically how Spider-Man does, as he lands on all fours with one end up. As he looks, as he's like, this is weird, but I kind of like the new look. As basically Spider-Man tries to attack, he basically dodges because he has spider sense now. He's now dodging all attacks. Now he's fighting evenly with all the spider family. Here comes another one. I swear to you, these people do not want to stop making a noise. As I don't know where I was, sorry, I stopped there. I think I was a fight with Venom, Void, and the Spider Family, and Izuku. Basically, Izuku is now fighting them with the full power of Venom because they have fused linked. She has done it in secret. She has permanently fused like with Izuku. As Venom says, I knew it, you were a symbiote. As basically now uh, like basically now this the fight like is truly now gonna turn to Deku's side. As basically Spider-Man goes in for the first attack. As basically Spider-Man grabs Venom, or Void grabs Spider-Man's leg, throws him. As he throws him like to in against a wall, Spider-Man's like, ah, damn, is it new or did he get stronger? As basically Venom is now fighting with Zuko. Now, as Venom and Izuku locked hands, Venom realized that Izuku has no normal like symbiote. He has basically he's the spawn of anti-venom. As basically Venom screams, ah, it burns, stop! As like Venom is trying to like let go of Izuku, but Izuku's just holding on. As basically it's just basically hurting Venom. As basically Spider-Man or basically Gwen kicks Izuku against the wall. As Silk tries to whip him, as Izuku makes a knife. Basically, once they think like they captured Venom, like they captured Izuku, he makes a knife and just cuts his way out. As while like they all thought they captured him because they all thought there's no way he can get a weapon and get out. There's no way he can move out. There's no way. So they all like kind of letting their guard down, but they're still watching him as they see he just get a weapon out of nowhere and he cuts his way out of this like webs as he starts using webs himself. As he webs basically Silk's hands. As basically Gwen also rushes at him. As he dodges Gwen's fist, he like webs her hands, puts it in his same hands that he has Silk's like thread stu- that is trapped in her one hand on. As they trying to pull, but it doesn't want, like they're trying to pull the webs off, but it doesn't want to pull off. So they are basically fighting one-handed now. As as actually Gwen blindly rushes at Izuku and tries to swing for a punch. He sidesteps. He basically does the same thing he did before and traps her both of her hands. As he basically now is swinging her as she throws her against Silk. As he throws her against Silk, Silk basically catches Gwen, as he's now whipping the both of them against the wall. As he's doing like whipping them fast, as basically before you could like trap them fully. I did Detective Spider-Man, the detective one, basically socks him in the face as he's like, "So you want to play hand to hand? Let's play hand to hand." As he's basically having a fist fight with the detective Spider-Man, as basically he's going like basically having a fist fight with him now, as basically Izuku is, how can I say, Izuku has more training, but Detective Spider-Man has more experience, as Izuku like doesn't back kick, Detective like dodges as he like gives socks Izuku again against the face, as Izuku is like getting like massive hits from him, as basically Izuku jumps back as he pulls out a gun, like he pulls out a like rifle as he unloads it, as Detective Spider basically grabs his hat and starts basically dodging the bullets, as basically Peter Parker gets like comes back with Venom, as they are like comboing now. They are comboing him, as Miles Morales is also doing that, as Izuku's getting pushed back, as Izuku literally says he literally says, "I won't be able to take all of them on," as he's like, "I only got rid of a few," as evens with Izuku's like range of skills, and he's like basically a basically a badass assassin, he won't be able to take all of them on. He's not he's he may be John Wick's level, but even he knows they have too much like they have they work together too much for him to take them all on at once. As like Izuku like starts disengages and starts booking it, as he runs like into, as he takes out a book, as everyone can see this book, as basically he rips out a page, as he drops it to the floor, as he drops it to a floor. No, I would say he just like takes out a book, as basically he puts it on the ground, he touches the book, as something starts coming out, as it's a bunch of dinosaurs, as they're like, "What the hell?" As they all start like the Spider Crew scatter while Venom just gets knocked through a building, as now they're dealing with basically now they're dealing with like dinosaurs on the loose, as Deku only uses them as a distraction so he can get away, as Void tells like Deku that she has a morphine ability, as basically he says then use it, as basically Void asks what you want to morph into, a spider, as he morphs into a spider, as because Izuku has a special Izuku has a special symbiote. The reason why Carnage and Venom didn't detect the reason why Carnage and Venom didn't detect that the symbiote was even in the warehouse to start off with, because number one, she has like basically developed a way to stay invisible from all like symbiotes, so no symbiote will be able to sense one, and like she will be able to sense like the symbiotes around her, but no symbiote will be able to sense her. And she is also an anti-symbiote, so she can have an easier time killing symbiotes off, as basically now Izuku is a black spider, as basically when like Peter Parker is now scanning the area trying to find Izuku, once they were dealing with the threat, he suddenly just disappeared, as Spider-Man is like, "Damn it, we lost him." So I wonder what that so the guy has a symbiote now, as Spider-Man doesn't actually know who he is, as Spider-Man like thinking who is he, and what is he basically, and what is his thing with Venom, with Carnage, as Spider-Man's thinking Carnage called him Black Spider. Better do some research. As basically, this fight leaves, Venom leaves, basically as Venom like is also basically Carnage left the city, as Venom is still hunting for Carnage, but he's still on his quest to free all the symbiotes from life, the life foundation. The life foundation. I don't know what their name is. Comment down below what the the organization's name is that is trying to capture all the symbiotes and like basically seal them. Carnage is still trying to do that mission, but he's trying to hunt down Carnage at the same time. As I am gonna leave it off there. So now we got a main problem. So now the things we got on this what if. We got a main problem that Deku has to worry about. Carnage. We have basically, how can I say it, Deku has more heroes to worry about. The ship hasn't begun yet, but it shall begin soon. I'm still working on a lot of fight scenes, and this thing is getting to quite a long, so I am going to stop it here. See you guys in the next video, and this has been my 10k subscriber special. The next goal is my 50k. No, my 50 subscriber special. 50. And until we hit that goal, I won't put out another special. Until we hit that goal. I need 50 people subscribe to me and coming back to watch my videos, and then I'll post another subscriber video. And also, thank you to all the people that has subscribed to me. Thank you to all of you, because seriously, the support is massive. The more people subscribe to me, the more people that can see my what ifs, and the more better what ifs I can make. And the more used to I can get to this YouTube thing, which is basically my side thing that I'm doing. And the reason why, also side note, reason why I'm not doing a lot of what ifs, my tablet has a battery problem, and as you can see, my battery drops as fast as I can do a what if. So I'm gonna go charge my tablet for another hour and a half now before this thing dies instantly. So I was actually lucky to do this video. Don't know if I'm gonna do another one, but we'll see if this thing charges, or if this thing charges at all, because this thing doesn't want to charge anymore. And I'll see you later in the next video. This is my new what if, and you probably saw a few pictures of a sneak peek of one of my next videos what ifs that is coming out. But I'll say nothing more on that. So don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, because if you don't, you won't be seeing my what ifs a lot. Because I need more of a reason for people to basically, jeez, it's loud. I need more of a reason for people to watch my videos. So, bye!